engage with that office. They continue to share the perspective of the American Muslim community, and they share the perspective of our commitment to social justice and for domestic issues as well as for international issues. So we think that that is part of the continuum. Voting counts, but so does what happens after you vote.
And what are some of the current issues you're involved in terms of protecting the Muslims' rights and interest in Washington and the other decision-making places here in America?
Well, we're working on a slew of campaigns right now. A couple of the foremost ones that are the most relevant in the current era. The first is working to effectively end any potential legislation that could allow for torture to be utilized within the Guantanamo Bay, as well as within international prisons run by the U.S. or where the U.S. sends prisoners. Now, this may not matter it may not seem to be the issue of top priority, but we believe that this falls within the human rights paradigm that Islam teaches us. And there was recently a court ruling in Michigan that disallowed President Bush to continue the policies of allowing interrogation and humiliating practices within Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. So what we're doing now is working with members of the committees in Congress that have the control over these prisons and these detention centers, and working to make sure that they do not pass legislation that would find a loophole, but that instead would preserve Common Article 3 of the Geneva Conventions, which prevents any cruel or inhumane treatment of any type of detainee. That's one campaign. Another campaign is we're working, heading up to the midterm elections. We're working with Muslims to get them to participate in their local elections beyond just going to the polls, but being educated about the issues and working within their local parties so that they can be effective. Additionally, we work on the issue of American Muslim charities that have been shut down after 9/11.
This is very important because not only here in America, around the world, Muslims have been made afraid to donate and help their brothers and sisters suffering around the world. So I'd be interested to know what you guys are doing about it.
And this is one of our primary challenges, and it's one of the reasons that many Muslims feel in a state of despair. They feel that they are constantly under scrutiny, that they are not allowed to move forward within society. Now, when American Muslim charities, a handful of them have been shut down since 9/11. Around accusations, none of those have panned out, and yet it has cast a cloak of suspicion that has, I think, violated donors' rights. And what we work on is from the perspective of the donors' rights. American Muslim donors have the right to give zakat. They have the right to give to the needy in any way that they see fit, as long as it is in accordance with American law. Now, these charities have been shut down, and there has been no avenue through which their cases can be resolved, and it has left other charities in the lurch. They don't know how they can proceed in a way that they will be protected under American law, or when they will be next be held under some sort of suspicious labels. So we work with the government agencies, knowing full well that we are going to have limited returns, but we work with them to hold them accountable and to simultaneously bring the American Muslim charities to the table and to create engagement between the two parties so that they can bring their grievances to the forefront, and so that we can find ways. One of the things we've done is advocate for those charities whose assets have been frozen, that those frozen assets should be transferred to a third party in order to honor the donors' rights, so that through the third party, the money
a third party which is not under any suspicion.
Exactly, and can be a Muslim charity nonetheless that is, on the up and up and has not been suspected of anything. Now, the money should be transferred, and so that the money can reach the intended beneficiaries, and so that the donors' rights, again, can be preserved in the process.
Now, also, you train people also to deal with the media, because it's very important, the people we put in front of the microphones, to be able to deal with questions in an effective manner.
Absolutely. Well, this is one of the, American Muslims are under the microscope, and they're